Okay. Make sure my mic is working right. There we go. Hey guys, Dante here, and welcome back to my channel, The Burgos Art, and welcome back to another edition of Sunday Night Art Stream. And yes, we are running late today. It's already almost 8:20, and let's just jump right into it. I've just had a few issues with my secondary devices, and I think the volume's a bit loud. Let me adjust the volume a little bit. Okay, so, yeah, as I said, I was having some issues with my secondary devices. Trying to get my laptop to act as a secondary screen as opposed to its own device, and it just didn't want to. And it's an old laptop, so when it decides to update, it takes forever. So, with that said, I'm just using my old tablet again. If you are watching on Picardo, please forgive me. I won't be able to switch back and forth as easily to check out the chat over there. As always, you could check me out on Twitch or YouTube, where I can see the chat as it comes in. What are we doing today? Today we are going to go ahead and finish up Princess Thorn, the evil Princess Thorn. So last week I did the inks for this picture. In the meantime, between that, from there and now, I did some adjustments to the inks. Her head was just like too wide, like it just looked kind of odd to me, so I kind of brought the facial features inward. I readjusted the dress so it's more even, more like an actual tutu coming down either side. Could probably still use some adjustments, and then I laid in a bunch of flat colors. So I did a lot of the tedious stuff, and today we're just gonna be doing some coloring, taking it and easy. I might even still do a little adjustments with the inks. Just want to do one last thing. Yeah, I feel. Where's my pen? Good. Where's my eraser? Good. I feel this line should be in more, so we're gonna adjust that. There we go. Yeah. Just, it's the smallest of adjustments, but I want, that ink is too thick. It's the smallest of adjustments, but I want to move the dress in a bit more, like right about there. There we go. And we're still going to do a lot of adjustments in the fuzzy part of the dress, which is all this right here. So anyway, hope your week's been well, guys. For cartoon fans out there, I'm aware that they premiered a new season of The Owl House, woo, and the new season of Amphibia, both of which were quite fun to watch. So let us. I'm thinking, for the sake of the inks, like I wanted to have the hint of the eye bags, but I don't want them to be like so prominent. There you go. So let's go ahead and work on the skin. Let's do the skin. Why is that white? Skin includes the eyes. Yeah, there you go. That's the eraser. What is that? Why are you there? There you are. Need to take off my screen safety, hurting my eyes just for your entertainment. Okay, let's take away. Okay, so the hair, I forgot the hair was on the same layer as the skin. Is it? No, it's not. Wait. Skin is above the hair. That's it. Alright, yeah, skin is above the hair. Alright, so here's our base skin color. Along with a little bit for the eye. Okay. So we have our skin, we have another skin. That's no, it's not right. I'm just trying to pick a nice. There you go. That's a nice dark tone. Let's get a second tone in here. As always, we're going to start with the flats. And I'm going to... Lately, so for the last like 3 or 4... And that's like, I want to say the last 2 or 3 pictures we've done. I've used the color pencil tool to really... to work the blending. That's what I've been using a lot for the blending. But I want to see how the charcoal works. Or color pastel, actually. Color pastel seemed interesting to me. Alright, so pastels, it's chalk and it's this general pastel. Let me see. Kind of like that. So let's see. Definitely gives it like a... I do like it. It gives it like just a pinch of a grain to it. I can hear the wind kicking up outside again. Let's go a bit larger for here. I do like it. Don't know if I like it as much as using the color pencil. Okay, here's the color pencil. Like that's the color pencil smooth. I think for the skin I like the color pencil more. Restream bot, hey Joe. Yeah, about like bit of a technical issue. It's about 20 minutes into it so far. Thank you very much. Yeah, it wasn't intentional. I wasn't aiming for a Helga kind of look to it, but I take that as a compliment. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, so as I was saying, I think I like the color pencil. Yeah, I think I like the color pencil more for the skin. I'll use the pastel with its texture, maybe for the clothes. Something a bit rougher. I'll use the pastel to blend something else. But I think the color pencil, I think I'll stick with color pencil. But yeah, she definitely has far more evil Angelica Pickles vibes. That's kind of, yeah, that's definitely what she is. Some may argue that Angelica Pickles is always evil. But no, but this is like dangerous levels of evil here. I was tempted, man. I was really tempted to give her the unibrow. But she does have, like, let me back up again. Since you joined in a little late. So those are her colors. Those are the colors I decided to go with. She has, once again, the offset white and black outfit. But I decided to give her, like, purple. Even, like, the studded, like, leathery kind of thing she wears around her waist is meant to be, like, purple. And we're going to do the icon on her bow, like a wood color, like it's a carved wood. I'm not sure if I want to change the skull to be the actual symbol of her group, the horned skulls, or just keep it like that. We'll see. Oh, by the way, so for those of you who don't know, Joseph knows this. We had a fun discussion about it. You know, sometimes you get a bug. Sometimes you get this thing you just can't get rid of. I refer to it as moments. I refer to it as micro obsessions, where like you need to get something on paper, or you just need to get rid of it. You need to get it out of your head, right? And this week I just had this really weird bug where I was like obsessed with like designing Transformers, which is nothing new to me, but in this case designing them in the with Ghostbuster properties. I was like, oh man, I just have this idea, like I wanna do this this Ghostbuster concept. So I sent Joe a picture. I did a really rough layout, like a rough concept sketch, if you would. of why is the earring there? No, that's that. That's that cloth. That's it. It's on the cloth layer. Okay. Sorry. So yes, I decided I want to do a Ghostbuster Transformer. So I sent Joe this really rough sketch. Once I got it out of my system, I was so happy. A rough concept sketch of like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. If he could also transform into the Ecto-1. And it's like a really rough, like, this concept might work. Like, it's just like, I feel like there's 2 levels of Transformers. There's like the basic, this shape goes here, this shape goes there, and you're done. Then you have like the masterpiece level where like where just to get something to look like accurate exactly to like the cartoon or the comics, there's like little panels that flip out and little, sliders, like it's every single minute thing. And I'm always in the mindset where if I can't like actually make it with what I have on hand, I sometimes don't think of doing that as part of transformation. I guess you could say it's like easy transformation versus complicated transformation. So the easy ones are just like general shape shifting. Things go here, things go there. So it's going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right? Who turns into the Ecto-1, but it's kind of like the Kenner's Ecto-1, where it's like a stylized kind of cartoony, stumpy version. So that's a sketch I did, and I was like, okay, that's the first thing out of the system. Good. I thank God. And then at work today, I finished the idea, and I did a sketch of what if Slimer became the Ghost Trap. And once again, it's just a vague sketch of this might work, this may not work. If I turn the head this way and turn the arms that way, etc., etc. So I was able to get that. That was done, and that was it. Like I just had to get it on paper. I had to think of how to do it. I had to really think of how to do it, and had to get it on paper. And it's out of my system. I may, at some point, try to make it, but I just had to get it on paper to scratch that itch. Save. So yeah, so I did that, and then Joe suggested, what if Slimer became a vending machine? But the issue with the vending machine, like, it makes sense, but I'm still just turning the spud, I'm turning Slimer into a rectangular object. So if he's gonna be a rectangular object, I might as well make it the Ghost Trap. Vending machine's funny, but I might as well make him the Ghost Trap. If I gave her like a bit of a rosy cheek. But yeah, that was my struggle for like the past 3 days. Sometimes I get the itch and I have to get rid of it. Right now there's a Transformer sitting on my table, and he's practically done transformation wise. I still need to like paint him, add a few bits and bobs to hide like exposed parts. But essentially, once I reach a certain point, I sometimes just take a break. I still plan to finish him, but I have to just take a break sometimes. So I have a triple changer on my table right now. And I'll return to that triple changer as well. That's the what was his name? That is Kilmodo. The Kilmodo dragon. Actually have thought of like how to sketch him up. Yeah, so that was like my struggle, the struggle of my life, just trying to get these ideas out. I'm gonna switch over to Picardo real quick, see if anyone's in the chat over there. Reconnecting chat. No one's in chat. No one's watching. Back and notice. All right, back to Twitch. Okay. So once again, we're doing the basic, light tone, dark tone, and then I'll go back in and I will add another darker layer. Yeah, I think color pencil is like the way to go for me, at least for now. That's my preference for now. But yeah, so Slimer into the Ghost Trap, and Stay Puft Marshmallow into probably a stumpy. It'll probably end up looking like a stumpy Ecto 1. And it's funny because two of my good friends at work, from my old department I used to work in, whenever I meet up with them, it's always fun to talk with them. They were like, when I told them the idea, they were like, "What? You gotta make it! You gotta do it!" I love those guys. Like it's fun to have someone who just like, they kind of have your back when it comes to creative ideas. Just do it. Joseph, by the way, is one of those individuals. Joe knows it. When sometimes Joe and I would just talk for hours on the phone about ideas, and it just kind of like spurs the moment. It gets me going. Like, oh yeah, I definitely got to sit down and draw something. He's my muse now. But yes, Joe definitely. Joe knows it. Sometimes we just sit down and just talk about nonsense, and then it just gets me going and be like, okay, I'm gonna start doing some work. Little ball of hatred. So, Clockwork Queen is super old. The original idea goes all the way back. Goes all the way back to essentially when I was in high school. So you're talking. Hold on, let me just drop some colors here. Sorry. So it goes all the way back to like 2002. Don't know if Princess Thorn probably was made a little bit later, maybe 2003 or 4 or whatever. But definitely before, like the How to Train Your Dragon series. Not just the movies, but the actual shows. If you've ever watched the shows, they're quite nice. They sometimes they're episodic, sometimes they're not, but they kind of expand on the world itself. And it's really cool because just as the movies of How to Train Your Dragon shows them aging, the show also shows that. Like it shows moments of like Hiccup and Astrid's relationship, and it's not as prevalent as I wish, but from what I have seen, it does a good job of showing like their relationship. The fact, because eventually in the end they get married, so like it shows like their actual romantic relationship. But that kind of world, that kind of fantasy Viking world, that's kind of where like Princess Thorn sits in. They're not actual Vikings, but but they the whole like semi-barbaric kind of idea. Okay, so that's that. And let's go a little bit darker, drop some darker tones in there. Back to oh, no wonder I'm not seeing it. I'm using the wrong color. That's what I'm looking for. And the only issue with the color pencil is that it does take. It is kind of wide. Even like right now, I'm using like a 0.4, but it's still kind of wide. So you have to be careful you don't overbleed into like overbleed your colors. Speaking of which, there you go. The issue is when you do have a thin pencil, then it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to blend it. Like it doesn't have enough spread to blend well. It's a back and forth. Oh, you can see my screen. That's better. Right there. Because I tend to dip forward when I'm on camera. Refresh that page. Back to the drawing. Back to the drawing. Yeah, so going down the list of, as I mentioned earlier, cartoons that premiered. They premiered. Disney Channel brought in the next season of Amphibia, and the next season of Our House, and my opinion on the shows are the same, pretty much. They're both good shows. Our House handles this stuff a little bit more serious, while Amphibia has more cartoon logic. But they both are going forward very well. Amphibia, they have returned back to Amphibia. Spoilers, but not before telling everyone on Earth who are close friends of them the truth. Because not everyone knew they were frog people. And here's my theory. Because the episode ends with Anne Boonjoy and her associates, the planters, getting back home. But as they get back home, Anne's mom then grabs RuPaul's character, Mr. X, I think his name is. She grabs RuPaul's character because he's like, after Anne escapes, RuPaul is like tells Anne's mother, "You have a lot to explain," because Anne gets away. So all he has is like Anne's family just standing there, friends and family, and then the mom and father strongly point at him and say, "Yes, we got a lot to tell you," and he's like, "Oh," because now that Anne is safe, away from like the FBI, might as well just tell the FBI what the hell's going on. And my theory is that at some point, RuPaul and the FBI are gonna be ready to aid Anne and her friends when the proverbial shit hits the fan. Like, essentially what I mean is like whenever Anne returns back home, or whenever the villains decide to invade Earth, RuPaul be ready because he'll know that Anne and the family were actually good guys the entire time, and he's like, "Oh yeah, your mom told me everything. You're super cool. Let's fight some evil newts." I that's my theory. My theory is that like the mother's gonna be like, "Well, this is what's going on, and you're either gonna help us defend the Earth or not," because communication is key. Like, if you just tell. If you just tell even the shady part of the government, by the way, this is what's going on, they'll be more happy to know, that way they'll defend against the evil frog invasion. Sorry, newt invasion. Don't want to mix those up. But yeah, my theory is that we're gonna have a big shock of shocks. He's gonna end up being he's gonna end up being the ace in the hole. When the chips are down, he'll be ready because Anne's mother and father already told him, "Hey, this is what's going on." That's my prediction. It's nothing crazy, but I believe that's what's gonna happen. Okay, that's still nothing going on there. Yeah, so that was good, and as always, Our House, love it. Also dealing with open communication, and god dang it, Kiki Mora, she is a villain, but that voice, I think they say, is Kiki Mora's voice actress the voice director? I think I wouldn't be surprised, because sad Kiki Mora, it does hit me. The character Kiki Mora, like seeing her sad and crying because she can't hang out with the family, she can't go visit her family, like that kind of got me. She's still a little crazy jerk who's kind of gone like business crazy, like I will get the promotion. But still, little Kiki Mora, little Kiki Mora. Yeah, so little Kiki Mora, you jerk. You know what? Yeah, I was gonna give her like a little white shine on the nose, but instead she's gonna have little. So is it makeup or is she just naturally rosy cheek? I think I'll reduce the rosiness in her cheeks and just actually give her like she's just kind of rosy in color. She has like a little bit of sunburn kind of thing going on. Yeah, I'll do it that. I think I like that. Just kind of give her... Just like a light color. There we go. Like light. Okay. Yeah, that pink rosiness. I think, yeah, that rosiness is like, it's like in the skin. It's like, you ever seen some artists who like, they'll do, they'll like do like rosiness on the elbows, rosiness on the knees. Like, it's an exaggerated like cutesiness that they'll sometimes do. I've seen some artists do that, and it looks really good. It's like a certain style of art. Okay. Since we're in the skin tone, I'm gonna clean the edges of the skin tone, lock it, and then go to the hair. Let's see what we can use for the hair. Maybe the hair. Well, the hair got. Well, I'm still like confused on how I'm doing the hair. It's curly, but it's not really curly. It's poofy. She has like bubble hair, which I used to do a lot whenever I want to do like curly hair, but that's not what curly hair looks like. I guess maybe the humidity just get. Maybe she has curly hair that just is horrible in the humidity. It's not locks. She doesn't have locks. In hindsight now I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should give her locks, but then I think that'll be too much, like the characters I mentioned last week. It's too many blonde villainous characters have like the Goldilocks kind of hair, but just a big messy poof I think works for now. Cloth layers on top anyway, but kind of still want to clean it up. Right? That's the cloth layer, okay. But the skin, I did the skin on top of the blonde. Why did I do the skin on top of the blonde hair? Why did I do that? I did it for a reason. I don't know, I did it for a reason, but I'm not going to start shifting layers right now at the moment. And yes, a reminder, the black on her eyes is on the ink layer. It is just solid black. There we go. Okay, so we're going to lock that skin layer. We're going to go onto the hair. Okay, let's get that blonde. So we need a... Should we go towards brownish? That seems like it might work. Let's see. How's that? Yeah, let's go with that. So in the pen tool right now, which is what I use my base colors. So we can drop some base colors in there, but I am curious. Marker tool's too rough. Pen tool's too rough. We have, of course, once again, the pencils. Color pencil. Rough pencil. Then I have the pastels, which we were using earlier. There's also charcoal, and then there's tons of brushes for just different textures. Watercolor, realistic. What is that? Too big. Too big. We have thick paint. You know what? First things first. We are going to lay out the base colors. So that's on the edge right here. Because the light's coming this way and her hair is like rounded. So we're going to round off this hair right here. I'm also going to hint to other little curves in the hair. The hair is going to be the most annoying part because I just don't know how to do the texture. For now, big swaths of just flat color. Kind of treating it as just a solid shape at the moment. As my tablet constantly updates in my ear. Excuse me. A little bit of skin tone there I need to fix. It's kind of bleeding over. So I kept thinking, man, I keep using this same audio background music, and I came across a YouTuber, or Twitch person actually, Twitch individual, who was using the exact same like stock freaking music. It's like clay. I'm doing a quick kind of Google search, like how to color poofy hair. Let me see, how's this one? I have one here for wavy hair. I hate Pinterest with a passion. I guess a lot of it comes down to individual strands, like blending it and then having individual strands. So let's try some blending. This is a test right now. Okay, brushes. Let's look at the brushes. So this is watercolor brush? Really? That's the watercolor brush? Actually has like a line within it. This might work. The watercolor brush they have here has like already like a line in it. Like a translucent line. Which might be good. Realistic brushes, round watercolor brush. Okay, the realistic brushes look more like an actual watercolor brush. Ooh, oil paint. And that'll work well for that's a good blending tool. A bit too oily for my leg. And it's oil paint, duh. But yeah, a bit too soft. I need something that actually. I mean, yes, you can use it to. You can use it to get fine points, but let's see. India ink. Let's try this digital watercolor brush and see what it gives us. Like right over here. What is this? Let's make it I like it because it definitely has like a bristly texture, which is pretty good. Then I could just do reverse for the lighter spots to give some highlights. I do like that. I do like that. It does part of the work for you by giving you those individual strands, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Oh yeah, it definitely gets it individual strands. I can always go in with some darker tone. Yeah, I think the digital watercolor brush is this is our baby right here. This is what we need right here. A little getting used to, but we'll make it work. Is my sensor acting funny? Or is it just the brushes? I think it's the brush itself. In terms of how strong it picks up on certain brush strokes. Yeah, it's weird because not every stroke, maybe it's the pen or maybe it's the actual brush, not every stroke is like the same. Some of it is like darker, some of it is lighter. It's working, but it's a bit finicky. It's kind of like it's painting while smudging at the same time. A little odd. Like, look, I'm stroking, nothing. Have to push really hard. Yeah, like I have to push hard. I can't be like gentle with this. I have to like actually like push it in hard. But it's giving me some nice textures, which I'm happy with. Put some random random strokes here and there. It's working. It's working. Whoa, that's the wrong tool. undo. There we go. Hair tool. That's the pen, pencil, B for brush, thank you. Part of it is also just kind of thinking of the flow of the brushes. Like in this case, I can't just, with a color pencil, I could do little circular strokes and blend it, but this is for hair, so I have to like think of which way the brushes are curving. Yeah, sorry if you can hear the rattling of my computer. Yeah, this is working. And then let's go for a darker tone now. Get in there, do some dark streaks, and then we'll do some highlight streaks. Is it the same tone? Not the same color as the skin dark, which is okay. Why are you editing so much? Yeah, I don't know why my... Sorry, I don't know why my tower is making that much noise. Anyway, back to it. Let's see, let's go... Let's work right here. and see how we can get this watercolor brush to work for us. We got some dark right here. You put some random dark streaks in random places. I have no idea why it's making that much noise. Nothing should be loose. It did kind of move. Is that it? I think it was oh, I have a wire that's running next to it. I think the wire was what was rattling against it. I think. I don't know. Anyway, you're gonna be hearing that in the background from now on. Blending it, trying to blend it. Blend it good. Yeah, it could be my pen. Just watch. Stroke, 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 dark stroke, stroke. Like if I'm not pushing hard, the watercolor brush does nothing. Is there a sensitivity issue on this? Brush density. What if it's like... Okay, there we go. I think brush density is what I had to adjust. It definitely shows up a bit more now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she'd have like platinum blonde hair, so let's add a bit more strokes of brown here and there. But right here is a bit too dark for my liking. Take a little smooth watercolor. Yeah, like all the watercolor brushes, unless you're like pushing hard on them, I think my pen tool is working just fine. It's the watercolor brushes themselves. Yeah, the watercolor brushes, like their sensitivity is weird. Just gonna drop some like random streaks of highlights and stuff. I think her hair is just poofy, like it kind of curls in on itself. With all this being said, we'll just use the regular like pen tool for this. Regular digital pen tool. The G pen, as they call it. Give me a second. I am going to shut off this laptop because it is not helping me. Shut down. And while I'm waiting for my laptop to shut down, gonna take a minute, check out Picardo. Alright, no one in Picardo I can see. Like, this is an old laptop, but it's still a good laptop. I will utilize it somehow. I was trying to use it as a secondary screen, but I couldn't get the like second screen option to like work. Okay. Let me quickly go back into. Excuse me. Let me go back into the skin layer real quick and erase. Ooh, that's a big eraser. Why are you so big? Let me make sure I erase a few edges I didn't see before. Like this is right here. Good. All right. So above the hair is the cloth, but let's clean up the hair now. I like that. It's a technique to work on. Could use a bit of cleanup here and there, but yeah, using that digital watercolor, which is just it's just all the watercolors iffy though. Like they all need to be like pushed down on really freaking hard just to work. Let me do some organization. So on the side we have light, dark, and then darker. That's our hair. We have skin, light, dark, and then darker. And let me get that pink. I try to get into the habit. It's just once you start blending so many colors, I try to get into the habit of like having a little color chart on the side. Alright, let's clean up the edges of the hair. I like to clean as I go. As I've probably mentioned before, it just helps me like focus on what's in front of me. Yeah, usually that rattling is the frame, but it's not the frame today. It's as if it's the fan itself. Like it's not shaking, but it's I can hear it spinning. You can hear, you can hear it too with that amazing mic of mine. Yeah. I like it. Let's get into the cloth. Lock the skin. Lock the hair, lock the skin. Cloth now. Let's do some simple stuff. First things first, pearls. Pearls, I'm just going to use a G pen for that because they're meant to be slick pearls, so I don't need to really blend much, it's just a pearl. In the pastels, we have a crayon. How does crayon look? That's crayon. That's pastel. I think crayon's a little thicker. Let's use crayon for this like wooden piece here. By the way, cross your fingers for me, ladies and gentlemen. Cross them tightly. Because I sent in some last minute application like last minute application for 5 Points Festival, because every year I miss the deadline for that. Every single year. So I sent a last minute application there saying, what the hell, why not? If you know what's maybe they'll have openings. I just tried anyway, right? I've also sent a follow-up letter to the Brooklyn Comic Con because I've applied, but they haven't sent any responses yet, and they haven't posted who will be there yet. So they might be figuring things out. I've also sent application for the Long Island Retro Gaming. Don't know if I'm gonna do it. Send the application for it anyway. Mama Burgos always said apply. If they say yes and you decide you don't want it, you just say no. Like, why be picky? Just apply. You can always say no. Okay, so as we suggested earlier, they use pastel. So we use crayon. Sorry, we've been using color pencil for the skin. I think pastel, or crayon in this case, or even pastel. How's chalk? Chalk might be a bit too much. No, chalk might be a bit too much. Yeah, too grainy. Good for speckles, but pastel I think would be nice for the texture of cloth. So let's decide the colors we want. Should I just go deeper into the blue, or should I just go darker towards the black? Let's go with the dark. It might even be a bit too dark, actually. Yeah, stick with the dark, because you can't see a difference otherwise. Once again, flat color, people. Gigantically bombastic bow. So if you don't know, there's this there's this campaign essentially going on. I'm not sure if it's just a general like show of support, or if there's like a thing you can send money to, or how it works. But it's just basically supporting artists. It's like, just like in the professional field, like illustrators, and how much they get paid and things like that. Which isn't the first time we've had like a push for this. So if you go on like Twitter, I think it's like something the number 4 for artists. It's like I'm not sure if it's like done for solidarity, or if it's like an actual, place you donate to or campaign for. But it's there's a thing going on where if you see something the number 4 for artists, like support for artists, it's a thing that people are pushing because of just everything from like how companies underpay them to how companies just people who create animation or people who create comics or whatever, and how the companies like just kneecap their ideas or screw them over. Just be aware of corporate greed. I'm sure some of you might be aware of the thing with Disney, and how they were sending money to like this basically like anti-gay group in freaking Florida. Support who you love. Support your local artists. Support your non-local artists. Share stories. If they share stories online about like their struggles, make sure people know about these stories. It's everything's a business. We know this. Money makes the world go round. Yada yada yada. But at the same time, it's like you have a company that makes all this money off of like a particular artist's idea, but behind this, so you have something that works like well on paper. People are like, oh, this show is so progressive, this show is so nice, this show is so well written, and you find out after the fact that they had to fight tooth and nail just to do that. But the company won't let you know that. The companies won't let you know that they basically butted heads with the artists every step of the way. Once the show or product is making money, the company's like, oh yeah, totally, we were totally on board with it the entire time, and they've been doing that a lot with a lot of properties. There's plenty of shows, plenty of showrunners. Best examples, of course, would be the creator of Steven Universe, the creator of the Owl House. How like, it made the company so much money, but the company fought them every step of the way. And then, while at the same time, the company's like, oh no, we never fought them. We were totally with them the whole time. Buy our product, Yeah, the two main shows you hear about that happening with were like Steven Universe and the Owl House. But that also includes like freaking Gravity Falls. Like the guy behind Gravity Falls, he hates Disney. Well, correction. He's had anger moments. He's had his angry moments with Disney. Whether or not he actually hates Disney, I can't say. I won't speak for him. But he fought with Disney over like this basic background character stuff. That's the erase. But once his show Gravity Falls was done, once Disney made their money off of Gravity Falls, and once he told his story, once he was like, you know what, I'm done, I don't need to tell any more of the story, he was like, well, now I could talk smack about Disney because I don't owe them anything. I'm free of my obligation of them. I've told my story with these characters. I'm done with them. And he began sharing all the stories of just issues he had with Disney for mainly for, like, I think for him it was like two background characters, semi-background characters, who were gay, and like at the very end of the show, you know, it goes full circle. I mean, but when you watch the show, there's no hiding it. The characters were gay, and it was like two cop characters who were played for laughs, but they're like they're like legitimate like relationship with each other. Their friendship to how they care about each other was always obvious from day one. But like I said, Disney fought them every step of the way, while at the same time raking in the money that show was creating for them. Which is what I really hate, when they rake in that money while also just, you know, treating the creators like garbage. And that's part of like the whole thing with, like, you know, support the artists, support the creators. There it is. There wasn't much of a difference in that color tone there. Excuse me a sec as I adjust something on my. There you go. Let's go a little lighter. Just do a little bit. There we go. Lighten that edge a bit. The good thing with the pastel, if you go very light, you do get a nice splattering of color. Well, it's not even splattering. It's much more gentle than that. A scattering of light, if that makes sense. Speaking of which, back to the pastels. It's a bit dark here, a bit too dark for my taste. There we go. There we go. That's coming out too light. Try again. There we go. A little darker. Actual shoulder hurts. I need to work on how I do this. There've been days where I'll go to work the next day after this, and like based on what I'm doing at work, I get this horrible elbow pain. I'm like, oh no, does that mean I'm a real artist now? Do I need to wear like a freaking elbow brace? Suffer for your art. Suffer! Joseph and I don't know why I keep calling him Joseph. I call him Joe in real life. But when I'm on the internet, I always call him Joseph. I don't know why, Joe. I'm so sorry. But yes. Joe Testament. So anyway, Clitorius Rex and I had a discussion about like what do you want from your art? And I say, becoming famous, as your art becomes known, becoming famous is inevitable, or infamous even. People knowing about your work is always going to be part of it. That's what it means to be famous. People praising your work is another part. But I might even do a video about this, like an actual video. But to summarize it, Joe and I kind of agree that like the reason we do art is to share it with other people, because you take pride in something that you've created. You want to share this idea and see what people think of it. But it's also, but the real kick, the real like thing you get out of it, is when it inspires other people. When people draw fan art of your work. That like elevates it for me. I'm like, that is like a thing of beauty. Not just because it shows they like your work. B, it's like a praising. Yes, they praise your work in some way. But essentially, when someone draws fan art, that means that your artwork, let it be a character or a design of something, has moved someone else enough to create art. Fan art is still art, and that is when you know you've made it. And more importantly, that is what like really drives like me to know that something I've done, either they do fan art or they just draw in general, or someone says, hey, I like your artwork, I haven't drawn in a while, maybe I'll start drawing again, things like that. That is like the real drive of an artist, knowing that your art has also inspired others to do art. And yeah, some artists, that's the wrong button. Some artists, um, their artwork is also a way of speech. Like Eminem, almost all of Eminem's songs are like like an actual diary of his life. Like fictional characters like Marcy and the Vampire Queen, all her songs are about things of her life. That's art that someone uses to help express themselves and get through a certain thing. My artwork isn't so much an expression. It is not so much an expression as more of like a sharing of my ideas, a representation of my idea, and the sharing of it. But when I see someone else do artwork of someone else's artwork, I'm like, that's it. That's what it is. When your artwork inspires other people to do work in any form, let it be fan art, or let it be just a drawing in general of their own idea. And that's for me. That's the unicorn. That's the dragon. That's the dragon I chase. And I might do a more articulated video on that as an idea, but that's what art is for me. Okay. So yeah, so I like these are your basic color tones. I know we started super late. I'm actually also feeling kind of tired, to be honest. But let's zoom in a pinch to right about there. Hey intern. So this is our base colors, like, and let me move it a pinch again because you probably can't see it. There we go. And there's our color chart. So we have our skin tones, which are all done pretty much. Hair, pretty much done. I'm actually really happy with that. I'm enjoying testing the different brushes. I'm testing the brushes here more than I ever did in Photoshop. I don't know why. I guess new program, new adventure. I like using that. Using those watercolor, the digital watercolor to get streaks. It kind of helps. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it too, but to each their own. Using the pastels for cloth to give it a bit of a texture. But once again, these are our color tones. So these color tones and this texture for the bow, I will reproduce in the like the bracer she has around her waist. The pearls, I might make the pearls a bit more white to stand out against what's going to be more of a chrome kind of color studs and spikes on her elbow. And then gray and white tones for the dress. Pretty straightforward for the dress. But I think I'm happy with these color tones. But I am like genuinely tired, guys. I'm sorry. It was weird. I was working today. I worked a weekend shift today, and it just kind of drained me. I'm a little out of it. But I am happy with that face. I am happy. I'm happy with the bow. Happy with the face. I might do some texture lining in the skull, as just to kind of emphasize it as like wood striping in a way. Yeah, like it's good to draw this. It is the first time I've drawn the character since I drew her years and years and years ago. So it's nice to actually like revisit her and like develop her as a character. I had an app on my phone that it was used for D&D. So it was like you could basically, it had all these really cool like stats you could do for a character. But correction, it wasn't for D&D. It was for writing and D&D. So it wasn't typical stats like strength, charisma, intelligence. It was more like personal relationships, outward personality, inward personality, in education. It was like, and I had this whole thing just for her, and for Princess Thorn, Princess Springlock as well. And for her, it was like, short-tempered, aggressively short-tempered. Like I said, she will stab you. She will freaking stab you. Vindictive, aggressively short-tempered. Intelligent, or not intelligent, but crafty. That's it. She has like photographic memory, So she just, and her intelligence is just like she sees something, she remembers it, but she's crafty. She knows how to like use it. But once again, she doesn't really use things. She doesn't come up with her own ideas. She sees things, takes them, and turns them into her own little devices. But yeah, and mind you, this was a character. This is, and will be a character that's meant to be like a video game character. She was developed for a video game concept, which I might do a few like short stories. I might actually do a few maybe comic book-y kind of short stories that kind of like define each character to kind of promote the idea of a video game. But for now, it is just artwork. It is design work. It is illustrations and design. There's no programming, nothing yet for video games. Yet. Maybe one day I'll actually hire someone to make the game for me. Never know. But I'm rambling because, once again, I am tired and I'm like falling asleep at my table. So, with that said, thank you again for joining me. I'll be back again next week, hopefully on time. And yeah, maybe I'll finish this next week. Maybe I'll finish it during the weekend and show you guys the finished product. I don't know yet. Don't know. But anyway, once again, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.